Luther seal prints. Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press in the 1450s. Here's an example of what it looked like. The printing press helped spread the new teachings from Martin Luther during the Reformation. Books could be made in large numbers, sold cheaply, and sent to many people. Use printmaking to make prints of the Luther seal, a symbol of the Reformation. For this project, I will be using a Styrofoam plate. I have some washable markers. These are the colors of the seal. I have a sponge. I have white paper. This is drawing paper, so it's a little bit thicker than printing paper. I've got a printout of the seal that fits on the plate. I have some tape and a pen. I'm going to start by taping my picture to the circle part of my plate, and I want to try to feel to make sure it's centered on the part of my plate. And then I'm just putting a little piece of tape on each side so it doesn't move. Next, I'm using a pen and I'm going to trace my design with my pen. And I'm pushing kind of hard. You can actually kind of hear and feel it making a dent in the plate. You want to make sure not to push too hard though, because we don't want holes in the plate. If you do poke a little hole, it's not a big deal, but we want to try to give it a nice firm hand and not go a little bit too crazy. I will be tracing this again, so I don't have to worry about making it too deep right away, but I do want it deep enough that it shows up on my plate. You can kind of check, especially as you get close to the edges, to see if it's working, but I really recommend not moving it before that so that it stays in place. I'm just going to be going over all of the lines of my design to make sure that I get them all on my picture here. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the process a little bit so you can get the idea. And I'm going all the way around to do the flower part, the little leaves in between the petals, and then the rings, of course, that go all the way around. I'm doing the centers of the flowers. You don't necessarily have to do the little lines. Those are easy to just add in later if you want. But if you want to trace them right away, that works too. All right, I have my pattern traced. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a red pen just so it shows up nicely, and I'm going to retrace on my plate. When going over the sections this time, I am trying to make sure that I have my lines pretty deep, but without poking holes through the plate. So I am trying to go over them, make them nice and thick so that they will come out nice and neat when I do the printing section of this project. Now that my lines have been completely done, I am using one color to make a print of my design. I am using my washable marker and am coloring over the entire section with my marker, making sure that I don't leave anything uncolored. It's okay if you even go a little bit wider than the circles on the outside edges. I'm making sure to get a nice even covering with my marker, and it really doesn't matter what color you use. I'm starting off with red because it's the color of the Reformation. Once I get a good covering, I am going to get my piece of drawing paper and a damp sponge. And I'm going to use the sponge to get my paper slightly wet. I'll kind of go across and up and down on my paper so that it has a nice wet cover. And then I'm going to flip it over and place it carefully on my plate. I want to make sure it doesn't move, and I'm just using my knuckles to kind of go over all of the sections just to make sure I've got a really good, nice pressing down of my paper. So I'm really doing little circular motions to get a nice print. I will go ahead and take it off, and now you can see I have a nice red print. So I decided to play around with doing this with some other colors. It is important that you wipe off your plate in between. I just used a damp cloth and then I dried it off with paper towel before switching to a new color like this blue here. I'm going to do the same process where I color. Then I have my paper. I'm going to use my sponge to get it wet just by going up and down and sideways. And then I am going to press it to the top of my plate and use my hand in little circular motions to make sure I touch all of the plate to get a nice even print. And there's a blueprint. I'll do the same with black. Notice I washed my plate so it is nice and clean again. And I'm doing another print with black. So you can do this over and over again. It's super fun to try different colors and to kind of improve your technique in getting the most neat and fancy prints that you can, making sure that you are pressing down well when you put that paper on top to get a nice even print. Another option is you could actually use the actual colors of the Luther seal. So the cross is black in the center. The red is for the heart around the cross. So I'm going to go ahead and color that red. The flower is white, so I wouldn't color that at all. The leaves are green, so I would do those kind of around the flower with my green marker. Then we have the blue kind of for the sky around the flower. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in blue, trying to really stay in the lines here so that my print will turn out nice and neat. I'm going to get all of that colored in with my blue marker. Remember, these are washable markers. And then the last part of the Luther seal is the gold ring. So I'll just use a yellow marker instead of gold because I don't have a gold marker. And I'm going to color all around to get that color on my ring. Then I would follow the same process again with getting my paper wet with my sponge, and I'm going to go ahead and do a print of the seal with all of the different colors. making sure to press all around. And then you can see what a colored stamp looks like. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this printmaking process and that you have fun with this experience. If you like my videos, please hit that like button down below and feel free to subscribe to my channel for more fun art activities.